2 military personnel killed. Important to emphasise there, military personnel is what we've been told, not necessarily soldiers, but military personnel. And 4 others seriously injured, 4 other men seriously injured, taken to hospital. So that's the extent of our knowledge at the moment in this rapidly moving situation.
Something I suppose that the security services will now have to be looking at is, obviously as a result of the peace process, there was a considerable dismantling of the security apparatus. As we've already mentioned, army patrols were taken off the streets, some facilities were dismantled, etc. But if the dissidents are proven, as it seems tonight, to be able to mount these kind of attacks, one wonders what impact that is going to have on the type of security that people in Northern Ireland are used to seeing on their streets.
That's right. I mean, Operation Banner, the routine patrolling the streets of Northern Ireland, came to an end 2 years ago. If there is going to be an upsurge in activity like this, then that will obviously have to be reconsidered, and perhaps that is what the dissident Republicans are intending with an attack like this, if it is proved to be their work. What had been established as a peaceful process in Northern Ireland, a peaceful political process, may be changing in nature, and the government here in Britain and the authorities in Northern Ireland will have to review the security in Northern Ireland, obviously in the light of this attack.
Okay, Andy, for the moment, thank you. We can now talk to Jeffrey Donaldson of the DUP, who joins us on the phone tonight. Mr. Donaldson, thank you very much for your time tonight. Can I first of all ask you, obviously, for your reaction to this incident coming just a couple of days after Sir Hugh warned of a dissident attack in the offing?
Well, that's correct, and the security threat in Northern Ireland has been at a very high level now for the last few weeks. And I suppose, first of all, I would want to say very clearly on behalf of the First Minister and my party that our thoughts go out to the families of the 2 men who've been killed tonight, and of course to the 4 men who are seriously injured in hospital. We do hope that they will recover from their injuries. This is a terrible attack. I understand that gunmen with machine guns entered the barracks, the entrance of Mazarine Barracks at Antrim, and opened fire.
You understand that they actually went into the entrance of the barracks?
Yes, that's my understanding, and possibly in the guise of as a pizza delivery van, but these are sketchy details at this stage, so we obviously are getting reports that are unconfirmed, but we do know that there are 2 fatalities, and it's been a long time now since we've lost either a policeman or a soldier in Northern Ireland, and this is a terrible reminder of the consequences of terrorism, and we've had this in the past, and no one wants to see this happening in Northern Ireland, and I think there is a responsibility now on all parties in Northern Ireland to get behind the security forces, the police and the army, 100%, to ensure that these people are closed down, that these terrorists are hunted down, the people responsible for this, that they're caught and they are brought to justice. And that means we all stand on the side of the law. There can be no equivocation on this. We need to find out who did this, and they need to be brought to justice.
We heard the Sinn Féin President, Gerry Adams, Mr Donaldson, say in response to what Sir Hugh was doing in terms of bringing special army units in to increase intelligence on dissident Republicans, we heard Gerry Adams say that in doing that he risked alienating mainstream Republicans. What would you now say to Sinn Féin as a result of this incident tonight, if indeed it does prove to be dissident Republicans who are responsible for it?
Well, look, on an incident like this, you have to decide. Are you on the side of those who committed this foul murder, or are you on the side of those who uphold law and order in Northern Ireland? That's a very clear question. Are you in favour of terrorism, or are you against it? If you're against it, then you've got to support the security forces in taking the measures that are necessary to protect life in Northern Ireland. We are not going to defeat dissident Republicans by using kid clubs, that's for sure. When you think of the terror, the horror of this attack tonight, these people aren't playing around. They're not messing around. And when the Chief Constable says there is a serious security threat, then I think we've got to believe him, not question him. not doubt him. We've got to believe him. He is in possession of the facts, and we have got to support him. And I would call on all parties tonight in Northern Ireland, if you believe in democracy, if you want peace in Northern Ireland, then you come out clearly and unequivocally, you condemn this attack, and you support the security forces in going after the people responsible for this attack to bring them to justice. There can be no ambiguity on that.
Huge progress has been made in a very short number of years, really, in Northern Ireland. Politically, it's dormant in terms of the policing boards and so on. Are you confident that this terrible incident tonight will not damage that in any way?
These people are a tiny minority. They do not have popular support in Northern Ireland. They want to drag us back to the past. They want to destroy the progress that's been made in Northern Ireland. They have nothing to offer to anyone. They've nothing to offer to our children. Their future is a future of violence. It's a future of hatred, of sectarianism, of bitterness. It's a hatred that opens old wounds. We've put that behind us. The people of Northern Ireland don't want to see this happening. We will not allow this to destroy the peace process. We will not allow this to destroy the political progress that has been made. That's what these dissidents want. Their objective is to pull down, and we've got to keep building up.
And just to take you back, Mr. Donaldson, to your description of what you understand happened for people who may be joining us, you understand that the people behind this attack actually drove up to and perhaps just inside the entrance to this army base. If that is the case, that is an extremely audacious attack.
Well, it is indeed, and it demonstrates just how dangerous these people are. If they're prepared to drive right up to an army base, open fire, perhaps on military personnel, and with tragic consequences, then we all need to be alert to this, and we need to take the advice of the Chief Constable, who is saying very clearly there is a very serious terrorist threat here, and we need to recognise that, and we need to take appropriate action to deal with it.
Okay, Jeffrey Johnson of the DUP, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Well, just a few more details coming into us about this incident. Witnesses reporting hearing 2 long bursts of gunfire as a car drove by the barracks. At least 6 ambulances and 3 paramedic vehicles rushed to the scene. And the injured were taken to Antrim Area Hospital, which is about a mile away. The area around the barracks was sealed off, and obviously a massive security operation underway there. Nobody's yet claimed responsibility for the attack.
Now, we've just got some more information coming into us from Ian Paisley Jr. Of the DUP, a member of the policing board. He has said that the shooting could be a defining moment in the history of Northern Ireland. He said, unfortunately, this violence has returned to our doorstep. He has reflected, obviously, on the warning from the Chief Constable, Sir Hugh Ord, that dissident Republicans were determined to carry out more attacks, and has talked about, in the statement, about the threat level increasing in recent weeks. He said he was deeply shocked by the shooting. There are people who have been intent on murdering police officers or soldiers or someone else, and to strike home and galvanise support for some mad cause. This is where we are tonight.
But just in case you've only just come in, and just to remind you what the main point of this is that the police service of Northern Ireland tonight confirmed that 2 fatalities have occurred in this incident. An attack at the Mazarine Army Base in Antrim at around 9:20 this evening. It's understood that those 2 fatalities are male, and a further 4 men have been taken to hospital and are believed to be in a serious condition.